Like, this is called the Pesky Report. Like,
what's up? Welcome back to the Pesky Report, brought to you by Beyond the Monster. I'm your host today, Matthew. We've got Jordan with me. It's the weekday show, and this episode is brought to you by TJ Stats, advanced MLB stats and media, a bunch of tools including pitcher summaries, prospect rankings, and live pitch data. Head on over to tjstats.ca and use the promo code PESKY for 25% off your first month. That's tjstats.ca, not .com, and use the promo code PESKY for 25% off your first month. And so Jordan, thanks for hopping on today. Appreciate it. How are you feeling about state of the team right now, man?
It's hard to be positive about it. If anything perfectly encapsulates the vibes with this team. About 2 or 3 minutes before I joined the room, I opened this no free ads Sprite Zero, and it exploded on me. So again, if there's any indication of the direction of this team, the vibes around this team, I think it is perfectly encapsulated by a Sprite that hadn't moved in several hours. I opened it and boom. It's like watching a Red Sox game.
If you can't even drink a spicy water without, having an issue at this point, it's season's toast. Like, we're cooked.
Agreed 100%. It's not fun. It's not fun. Very hard to be positive with this group right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a sweep to the Rays. It's not like the Rays are in dead last place or anything like that. Like in the past, where if you were to lose to the Rays, it'd be a little more embarrassing. Like, at least they're, a formidable team in the American League East this year, in a absolute dog water American League. But the thing is, the Rays had been on like this nasty slump coming into the series, and the Red Sox have become the slump buster team. Like, the Red Sox are the team 100% that are getting circled on the upcoming schedule saying, here's where we can get right. They're the third worst record in the American League. The third worst record in baseball. The only teams worse right now are the Rockies and the Angels. And so if you're looking at, I play a lot of fantasy baseball, right? When you're targeting opposing matchups that you want to kind of like start your pitchers against, you're circling the Red Sox, you're circling the Angels, and you're circling the Rockies right now, and that's it. Those are the big ones, and it's just embarrassing, man.
Yeah, you want to hear what? It's been the vibe the entire season, pretty much. I know there's been some random patches where it felt like they were building momentum, and then they, as they've done all season, they take 2 or 3 steps back every time they win a couple games in a row. I think twice they've swept a series and then lost like 5 of 6 right after it. But to perfectly encapsulate it, like, again, this has been the vibe since the start of the season. Dustin May, including the Red Sox start, since then, has a 2.89 ERA. Remember, his ERA was 16 entering that outing. I know that's 2 bad starts to start the year, but like, the Dustin May, the James
sounds like
Tibbs
a type
for
of guy
Dustin May.
I was going to say, it sounds like the type of guy you would trade Tibbs for, James Tibbs II or the third or whatever his name is.
Yeah, whichever James Tibbs he is. Maybe the Red Sox have a 4th James Tibbs they want to trade
True.
for Dustin May. I mean, honestly, the way he's been pitching, he'd fit in pretty well with the current state of affairs for the Red Sox as far as their rotation goes, because they still pitch their ass off. They just don't score.
All I can say is thank God we don't need pitching, because for sure that Craig and Heim getting that deal done at the deadline if we needed pitching, and we're getting Dustin May back on the Red Sox again if that was our need. Like,
well, you saw.
No
did
doubt.
you see this tweet from Stats today? It was like, do you think that Heim is considering calling Brez to see if if Wilson and Sonny Gray are available, because they're like 2 games out of first. They've been awesome this year, like playing way over their skates as far as the talent of the roster, but they're pitching really well. They're scoring runs. It's the NL Central, so like, I think 3 or 4 different teams have led that division at some point, but the Cardinals are like right there in the thick of contention. So
I don't think that they're gonna last, over the course of the year. They're not going to make. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but you never know. I mean, teams could go on a run. I mean, they're the team that started the tarps off, and the vibes were really high over there. And it's kind of crazy considering they had a massive sell off with Brendan Donovan, Wilson Contreras, Sonny Gray. I don't think. Am I forgetting somebody else that they were
Did you
going
say
to?
Arenado?
I did not say Arnaud, him as well.
Arenado's gone. I think
Yep.
did they also trade somebody else? I think that's it. I think just
I think
Nolan,
that's it.
Donovan, Sonny Gray, Wilson Contreras. I know there was talks about Jojo Romero a ton in the offseason, but they kept him. Yeah, I think that's it.
It's interesting to see what they'll do because obviously, if they are committing to the rebuild, like it makes sense to sell Dustin May, right? He looks like the type of pitcher that a team would want to acquire at the deadline. Jojo Romero as well, another pitcher that potentially could get moved at the deadlines for them. And it'd just be interesting to see them kind of selling. It reminds me of the time that the Mariners were in a playoff hunt and then they traded their closer in the middle of the season. Do you remember that? It was like,
yeah, it was 23. They traded Seawald to the D-backs, which was honestly a great move by them. Wasn't at the time. It was very unpopular at the time, but he blew the World Series for the D-backs.
Yeah, and he get hurt too, like immediately after getting traded over there. I'm pretty sure he like pitched in a couple games and went on the IL, and then he was out until I think right before the playoffs, and then came back, if I'm remembering correctly. So it worked out, but I think it was pretty weird. 'Cause I'm pretty sure they were playing the Red Sox at the time that they traded him, or they were about to play the Red Sox.
Yeah,
And
because they were like I think they had just played the Red Sox because in 23 it was like the All-Star break. The Sox came out of the gates really slow. Oh no, it was right around the deadline because I remember Lucas Sims made his Red Sox debut in that Mariners series, and Raffy hit a walk-off in I think his first game.
Well, it wouldn't have been that series though because we were playing them in Seattle.
Oh, huh.
Because if Lucas Sims made a debut and Rafi hit a walk-off, that would have been at Fenway.
Yeah, so maybe I'm just misremembering, but I do vividly remember in 2023 Lucas Sims pitching against the Mariners right around, I think it was his team debut or maybe his second or third outing. He had not been around long, but
Oh, wait, you're saying he pitched for the Mariners?
no, he pitched for the Red Sox. It was like right after
Oh.
Oh no, so sorry, it was 24, not 23. I'm just
Right.
mixing years up here.
Yeah, because he was traded in let's see here, policy about 2023, because that was when Justin Turner got hurt in that series too. I'm pretty sure
No, because he got hurt in San Francisco. Because when they had been talking about trying to find a way to get him into the lineup and also get Yoshida off his feet a couple times a week, so Justin Turner was going to start playing second base. Well, Casas was obviously on a heater, and they needed to keep Yoshida in the lineup, so they'd have Yoshida DH. Justin Turner played second, and then he like wrecked his heel. Really kind of started the end of his career because he had some decent stretches after that year, but he really teetered off right after that experience of him playing second base.
Yeah, so it was July 29th that Seawald was traded. And looking at the 2023 Red Sox schedule here. Don't quit on me now. Let's go to July.
Come on, internet.
We got this. Here we go. Yep, we played them on July 31st at Seattle. Lost 2 out of 3.
Sounds about right. Deadline time. We had 2023 so it's funny that we're bringing up the Cardinals specifically to start the episode because, when the Red Sox do terrible things, we don't like to talk about the actual series.
No.
It'll be interesting. Like, I'm very fascinated to see what the Cardinals do because this is, Heim's first go of it since taking over there, and we all know how his deadlines were received over here. I mean, 2021 ended up being a good one, obviously, because he got Schwarber, but like the 2022 deadline was very infamous. And 2023, the Luis Arias and was it Mauricio Jovera was the deadline, and They didn't trade Paxton, and he fell off a cliff immediately. So very curious to see how Heim has learned from that. I hope for his sake, because again, like you said, I agree. I don't think the Cardinals are a real team this year. I think they're like a year or two away. They have talent, but I don't think they're there yet. But it's a tough sell to a fan base that's kind of like bought into this group to then be like Jojo Romero's gone, Dustin May's gone, maybe like Alec Burleson's gone because he's kind of like I think he's late 20s, early 30s. So it's probably not somebody that if you're selling, you're going to keep long term. Those are some dudes that, have been around for a bit and contribute to winning at a high level. So we'll see how they approach the deadline.
Well, and I mean, if you kind of compare, right, and you want to look at like playoff odds right now, if you had to guess, I don't know if you've already looked, what would you say that the Cardinals playoff odds are right now?
So they're second in the Central, right? I'd put their odds.
They're thirds. They're third in the Central.
They're third in the Central right now. I'd put their odds.
Brewers and Pirates are ahead.
34% is my guess.
So their odds right now on FanGraphs, 50%.
Huh. It's probably because of the division they're in.
Well, what's crazy is they're in third, right? Behind the Pirates and the Brewers. They have better odds to make the playoffs at almost 50% than the Pirates do, who are ahead of them. And they're at 47.9%. And interesting.
I don't think the Pirates are ahead of them. I'm looking at MLB.
You're looking at what? You know what? You're right. That's why the odds are different. It's not sorted by. Sorry about that. It was it was like alphabetical or something. Not sorted at all. So they are in second place. That would make sense why they have better playoff odds than the Pirates. They're actually 3 games ahead of the Pirates right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, and 3.5 ahead of the Cubs. I mean, we don't have to talk about every team in the NL Central, but I do think as opposed to just going in and talking about the series, which I know we'll get to eventually, I feel like we should pivot since we were just talking about the Cardinals and the deadline to kind of like all this stuff that's been coming out lately about the team and like maybe the Red Sox changing course and not being buyers. Sam Kennedy was very candid about that today on WEEI. And basically being like, yeah, we're not going to mince words. Like, obviously our goal is to still turn this thing around, but in a few weeks, that whole thing changes very quickly. But like, I'm curious, what would you do as far as, cause I think it was Gordo that posted the poll of like, what would you do? What's your approach right now? Are you buying right away? Get to the deadline, then buy, get to the deadline, then sell, or sell right now? And I think when I voted, it was like 78% were like, you got to start selling pieces now. Where do you fall on that?
It's every day I'm torn because there's the part of me that's in the back of my mind like, well, we're not going to have baseball next year, so I want to watch like good baseball this year, and just kind of have that looming lock out there. And but when you're 12 games under 500 and every single day it just like the vibes are atrocious, there's the drama and the media stories, like I just don't see it being turned around with the type of move that we're willing to make. So like I'd give it like 2 categories. If they were going to go acquire like, I don't know, Brent Rooker or Fernando Tatis Jr. or something crazy like that. If that was on the table and that was an option and you could go do that, then I would say buy now. Because that's the type of like player you need. The problem is that type of player is not going to be available, or like Yordan Alvarez. But that type of player, not available, or Craig's not going to be able to work out a deal for that type of player. And so because of that, I think that Craig would have a better chance of selling. And thank goodness that some of the teams that we have a history of selling to are in contention for playoff spots right now. And like, you talk about the Brewers, the Pirates, the Dodgers, teams that we've got a history of trading with, and clearly they don't have Craig Breslow's number blocked. Even the Yankees, I know that there's like been some discussion around Chapman to the Yankees would make a lot of sense. And so we can get into that in a minute, but Yeah, I think that's what I would do. Where do you stand right now? I mean, I know you said originally you had voted, but
Yeah, so I voted because it's kind of tough because I fall in between the wait till you get to the deadline and sell right away, because I think what they should be doing is every inconsequential piece on the roster, they should be trading. They should be getting what they can for IKF now. They should be getting what they can for Connor Wong now. And I know that people, when I brought this up on Twitter, and I also made a TikTok about it, um, people are like, "You're not going to get anything for Connor Wong." It's like, yeah, I know that, but like,
I don't know, man.
he's a 30, 31-year-old backup catcher. Like, any prospect you get is an opportunity to develop somebody into something greater. Like when the Red Sox traded Christian Vasquez to the Astros, Willie Abreu and Manuel Valdez were not. I know Valdez had the Soto comp because of his stance and swing, but like nobody was like, this guy's Juan Soto. He was like the 13th prospect in the not the Cardinals, the Astros organization, and Willier was, I think, like 29th in the Astros organization. I don't know if they had like an Astros prospects page, which again no other team has still, where they would have actually ranked those guys. But like, you traded Christian Vasquez, you got Willie Abreu out of it. And I know Christian was having a better year, was obviously your starter in 2022. But like, who's to say that you don't get an intriguing DSL arm for Connor Wong that turns out to end up being a stud, whether it's a guy you end up trading in the future or a guy that you develop and make part of your, your future plans. Like, who knows? You trade Connor Wong, maybe you get the next Tyrone Guerrero. It doesn't have to be the next Devers or Bogarts or Mookie Betts to be a worthwhile trade. It can be any contributor. But you got to get what you can for these guys, and then you reconvene in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. If you don't turn it around, then that's when you start selling off your major pieces. When the trade market's picking up, I know that there was a minor trade today with the Phillies, and I don't remember. I think the Cubs or Cleveland. I don't remember who they traded with. Derek Hill was in it, but so the
Cleveland did
market's
make a
starting
trade just now with the White Sox because they traded Nolan Jones to the White Sox.
They did. Did that just happen?
Maybe right an hour ago, maybe.
Huh, I did not see that.
It was for cash. He's going to AAA.
Gotcha. Did not see that trade get announced, but yeah, I mean, the trade market's starting to materialize. A lot of these minor moves are being made, so get in on that market. Like, if Connor Wong's not really going to play for you anymore, why is he here?
Yeah.
And if
Well, I know it's interestingly enough, I had heard that the Astros were poking around on Connor Wong, actually. So funny that you say that.
yeah, who in the let's play a fun game. Let's try and rip off the let's go flow. Let's steal the flow. Let's go copy their whole flow. Let's try and pick who in the Astros organization is going to be the next Willie Abreu for the Red Sox. Let's see.
All right.
So obviously you're going
Astros.
to take out everybody in the top 10. They're not getting any top 10 prospects for Connor Wong. I'm scrolling down and I see, does anybody pass the name test here? Maybe I shouldn't use Willier as an example because the last thing the Red Sox need is an outfielder. And he is an outfielder. Let's find a different position. We are going with Sammy Manzueta. He's in rookie ball right now. He's their number 29 prospect. He is 17 years old. He's 5'10", 165. He has a 50 grade. This is MLB.com's grades on him. 50 hit, 40 power, 40 run, 50 arm, 50 field, 40 overall. And obviously on the 20 to 80 scale. So that's their number 29 prospect. There's your next Willie Abreu. And then your next Manuel Valdez is going to be Jose Fleury. He's in AAA. He's a reliever, I think.
I think they'll include from the
60 grade
DSL
changeup.
roster as well. I think because he just passes the name test. I think they'll include infielder Francho Lee Silverero.
Who the heck is that? Is he on their?
Passes-
He's not on their. He's not on their top 30 list. Yeah, there you go.
No.
Oh,
Exactly.
you're in the bowels of the Astros organization. This
Oh,
is beautiful.
brother, this guy, don't get me started on Francholi. He is batting 321 with an 867 OPS right now in the Dominican, and hasn't made his stateside debut yet, but don't let that stop you. It's his best year so far, and it's only going up from here. He's been in rookie ball DSL for 3 years, so just a flyer. But he's born in 2006, so he's
No, that's
only 19
perfect
years
because
old.
that's a Yoiker Fajardo pull. I didn't think the Yorker Fajardo route. I was thinking strictly Wilyer Abreu, like late, like bottom tier of the top 30 prospects. So there we go. So Franchili and Sammy Manzueta, those are the two guys the Red Sox are going to acquire for Connor Wong. You heard it here first. This is not sourced information, so don't shoot the messenger here. But
That's right.
chat clip this, That was terrible. I'm gonna walk away.
Yeah, when we have to go back and clip this and make that edit, it's gonna go hard.
It's gonna go hard. Red Sox lose game 1 3-1, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, we should probably talk about this for a little bit here. Connolly early. He was fine. He was fine.
He pitched in game 1.
Yeah. A lot of walks. 4 walks, 6 strikeouts.
He's been weird this year, and I know some of it's like he's still getting his feet wet at the MLB level, so like I'm not gonna kill the guy for having his struggles. His ERA is still 3.3. The command's been a mess this year where it wasn't in his brief stint last year, and he's been giving up a ton of home runs. First pitch of the game, I mean, he gets ambushed. The pitch wasn't even a strike. Like, I'm not gonna, beat him up too much for that. Yandy kills the Sox. He didn't throw him a strike and he hit it out. What can you do? He competed, and that's really all you can ask for out of a young pitcher in quote unquote hostile territory. It is the Trop after all. But he didn't have his best stuff. Those are the kind of outings I actually really like to see out of pitchers, is like how you look when you're like clearly not right that day. And if the worst we see of Connolly early is 4 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned, 4 walks, 6 Ks, sign me up.
You're not wrong, but the thing that I keep running into a few, like recently, I guess, with Connolly early is that we're getting more and more starts like where he's like, oh, I just didn't have my best stuff today, and when it happened the first time, it was like April 20th or something like that, and he did the same thing. Walked a bunch of guys. Pitch count was up super high in the 4th inning. Didn't make it through 5. And said the same thing. Like, oh, I just wasn't feeling myself afterwards. And we said after the game, like, oh, he only gave up 2 runs. Like, it was a good performance. Still, all things considered. And I think I remember, hearing or saying something very similar to what you just said. Like, if it is good to see what a pitcher looks like when he doesn't have his best stuff, but I feel like this is kind of, for Connolly now, becoming a bit more of a trend, like especially with the home runs, like that is concerning. But I mean, if you look at his last 7 starts, ERA is a little bit higher, 3.66, but he's got 13 walks over his last 39 innings, compared to, where he was at prior to that. I mean, I don't know. It's a little bit concerning, I guess. I don't know.
It's the command, and I think to a degree, like I feel like the Red Sox, and this is, stop me if you've heard this before. The Red Sox are not making life easy for their pitchers because they're constantly throwing to different catchers. And I know that people will mention that, guys shouldn't have personal catchers unless they're like the ace of the staff. But there's something to be said about continuity and comfort. And if Connolly is doing, works well with a certain catcher, let him work with that catcher. If Peyton Tolley works better with Mickey Gasper, let him work with Mickey Gasper. If Sonny Gray works better with Connor Wong, let him work with Connor Wong. I don't know. I haven't looked at the numbers who Connolly's best, pitcher or best catcher is, or best what the best battery is with Connolly early, at least in his young career. But I feel like every single time he's pitching, he's throwing to somebody different, and that's really frustrating to me as a former pitcher. Because I obsessed over having my catcher. Shout out Nolan Anderson. I doubt he's listening, but that was my guy growing up. Like I threw to him every single start for about 5 straight years. There's just a comfort level that you need to have as a pitcher. You need to feel confident in who you're throwing the ball to. You need to be on the same page. And again, not to say that he isn't on the same page with all three of his catchers. It's just I would like to see them kind of settle into a routine. It's like, okay, if you're gonna have 3 catchers on the roster, you got to make it work. Connor Wong catches Sonny Gray. So and so catches Connolly early. So and so catches Peyton Tolley, and just keep it consistent. We don't need to be. None of our catchers hit. None of them hit. So we're not searching for offense out of the catcher position. Just let the catcher catch the pitcher and worry about the other 8 guys in the lineup that aren't hitting.
So his numbers are not like crazy different with each catcher. With Gasper, it's a 2.92 ERA. With Narvaez, it's a 3.19, and with Wong, it's a 3.68. He's thrown the most to Narvaez with a 3.19.
Okay, and Conley's a tough one to crack too because it's like he has so many starts like this one where he really isn't good, but the line looks okay. Because I feel like several times this year, like his ERA is 3.30. I'm pretty sure his expected ERA is like close to 5. So he's been very lucky to not be having a really bad year overall. His expected ERA is 4.53. Like last year, he had 1.1 F4 in 19 innings. This year, he's at 0.4 in 71 innings. So
yeah, his FIP is a 4.75.
Yeah, and I mean, like I have nothing really bad to say about Connolly. He's a young pitcher. This is rookie season. Like he's going to have his ups and downs. I'm not like making any declarations about him long term, but he's fighting it. And hopefully, just by staying in routine, maybe staying with the same catcher. Not saying that that's going to fix him, but by the end of the year, he kind of finds his groove again. Maybe when the pressure's off post deadline, when they sell everybody, that's worth a damn. He kind of hits his stride and he can, end the season on a solid stretch, kind of like because we're in this territory. Like in 2020, when Pivetta came up and Houck came up, they dominated September of 2020. Maybe Connolly has a similar sort of in the year where we can feel really good about him going into 2027, 2028, depending on when baseball returns. 2036, I don't know.
I think that not to kind of change the topic off of early, but I think this series kind of as a whole had a lot of home runs in it from guys that you didn't expect that didn't matter whatsoever. Like, we had the Meyer home run, which was off of a lefty.
Yep.
And if I'm not mistaken, he has 2 home runs off lefties this year and 1 home run off a righty, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough to find silver linings with a team that's this bad, especially with the expectations coming into the year. But Marcelo had a pretty good series. Like, I feel pretty good. I feel much better about him now than I did entering the Rays series because he drove in 2 more runs in game 2. Obviously, had the homer in game 1 off a lefty. That's always nice to see. Still a 64 WRC plus at just 3 homers in 59 games. But a solid series for him. He desperately needed it. Because we were on like option watch with him for a little bit. Not that they have anybody better in AAA, but Siegler came up, had a couple of decent had several good at bats. So there was at least reason to speculate that they might option him, but they obviously went with Siegler instead.
Yeah, he didn't play in game 3, but Meyer's OPS is now over 600 on the season after he went 1 for 3 in game 2. It's what were we going to say?
No, I was just a solid series for him. It's nice to see him kind of maybe start driving the ball a bit. nothing about his season's been like I've talked the last like maybe 3 or 4 shows that I've been on how disappointed I've been in his season. But obviously there's still time for him to turn it around. I hope they just like let him face lefties. Another reason why I want to start the sell is like, do we really need IKF to play against lefties? Like, you're 12 under 500. IKF's clearly already coming back down to earth. Like, just let Marcelo play. And if he sucks and this year ends up being terrible and he ends up having like a 40 WRC plus, at least we know about him. We kind of know what he is to a degree.
Meyer is batting 357 with a 1100 OPS against lefties this year.
That can't be like more than maybe 15 to 20 plate appearances.
Yeah, you almost nailed it. It's 14 plate appearances.
Yeah, 2 home runs. 2 home runs definitely help.
Yeah, 2 home runs, 5 hits in 14 plate appearances, but still, like, he's batting 357 against lefties, 212 against righties. I mean, maybe give him a couple of extra looks. Wouldn't hurt you.
Not to jump around, but that's a similar trend that Willier's following too. Like, he's hit lefties really well this year, and righties have like killed him. And also kind of flying under the radar because of how many other guys are overall playing like crap. Willier has not been good for like multiple months now, and I don't think people quite realize that. Like, so he started off white hot as he often does. He's the king of the first impression.
Yeah.
So those first 3 games in Cincinnati, or those 3 games in Cincinnati plus game 1 in Houston, he was scorching hot. Since March 31st, he is slashing 257, 323, 371 with a 91 WRC plus. He has 5 home runs in his last 264 plate appearances. And he's hitting third in your lineup.
He's not heating up either. He's going in the opposite direction because in the last 30 games, he's hitting 231 with 339 slug. But then that, as you go to the last 15 or last 7 games, that number, every single number has decreased over the last seven games, especially. Whereas this past week, he hit 214 with a 357 slug. So like he had the 1 home run in the last week. But other than that, like, major struggle, and it's not like he's heating up, it's the opposite.
Yeah, and it's just been who he is as a big leaguer. Like, I love Willier, and I think that they're like eventually it's going to click for him and he'll put it together for a full season. But like, now we're talking, this is his 3rd full year in the league where he starts white hot and then he just kind of rides that like first impression all the way through the season. Deals with some injury that makes him miss several weeks. So then we excuse the bad play when he comes back. It's like, oh, well, he's just coming back from an injury. Then he'll have like a really good like 3-week stretch, maybe get hurt again or taper off again. But he just overall settles into like right now he's at what, a 104 WRC plus for the year? Yeah, 104. He's a 113 guy for his career. So is this just who he is, where he kind of settles in this? It's still a valuable player because he's a tremendous defender in right field. But is he just a 5 or 6 hitter, maybe a 7 hitter, where the Red Sox have him in a position where he's counted on to do more and he's just not capable of it? Kind of like when they had Pivetta as like their 1 or 2 starter for like 3 or 4 years in a row. And it just, he's fine 4 or 5. And the numbers he put up echoed that. But then you ask him to be your 2, and then he just can't do it. And people start hating on him, and it's just not his fault. He's not better than he is.
It's actually interesting because he's batted 3rd now, more than anywhere else in the lineup. But when he's batting 5th, which is where he's had the 2nd most amount of at-bats this season, his average is 358 with 1,000 OPS. When he's batting 3rd, his average is 247 with a 643 OPS.
Yeah, and we've
cleanup hitter.
Yeah, and over the course of the last maybe half decade, probably a little bit longer than that. Yeah, because I remember in 2020. Remember in 2020 when they tried JD Martinez as the 2 hitter, and he just couldn't do it. He was their 2 hitter, I think, for most of the 2020 season because obviously Mookie was gone, Benintendi was hurt for most of the year. So they were like, we got to stick so-and-so in the 2-hole. We got to stick JD in the 2-hole because he's our best hitter. And you just couldn't do it. And then they dropped him back to cleanup in 2021. And he was awesome. I mean, relative to, 2020 and then 2022 version of himself. But,
Right.
Some guys just don't hit well in certain parts of the lineup. I remember when they tried Benintendi in the leadoff spot. Couldn't do it.
No.
Devers was fine, anywhere 2 to 4. But certain guys just don't hack it in certain parts of the lineup. And Willier is a 3-hitter. Maybe that's just his, kryptonite is hitting in the top third of the lineup. Put him in the heart of the order in the 5 spot and, let him cook from there. But the problem is you take Willier out of the 3, who the hell's hitting there? Caleb Durbin because he hit 2 home runs.
Durbin. Yeah. Caleb Durbin over his last 7 games is hitting over 300 or last 15 days or something like that. What's the stat here? Let's see. But yeah, I mean, with Willier, like he is dominating lefties this year at a crazy clip, and he's got 76 at bats against them. It's like 350, 900 OPS against them. Like it's crazy. He's doing great against lefties.
Yeah, he's been a a breath of fresh air lately as the avid Caleb Durbin hater of the Pesky Report. I got to give the man his flowers. Like he reworked his swing, and it's funny because people are like, "Oh, now he's using the whole field." So now clearly the whole pull air thing is out of his head, and he's not he's driving the ball to right field. He's going up the middle more. So his numbers are starting to course correct themselves, and then boom, like now he's pulling the ball in the air again, and now his numbers are exploding. Like obviously he's not having a good year still overall, but he's up to
his last 15 games, 313 batting average, 903 OPS, 2 home runs, 5 doubles, 1 triple, 10 RBIs, 139 WRC plus with a 367 weighted on base average. And this is from Tyler Milliken, K percentage down to 9.8%, identical to what it was in 2025. So there's a lot of things to like about Caleb Durbin's approach the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and you'll have to take my word for it. I swear to God, his pull air was like 10.2% 2 weeks ago. It is up to 15.9 for the season. His pull air last year was 20.4. So for people who say he's not pulling the ball and that's why his numbers are improving, he's actually pulling the ball more. He's just not hitting on the ground anymore. That's why he was having so many issues. It was everything he was hitting. Even when he hit the ball hard, it was like 102, but a topspin line drive at the shortstop or a ground ball to second base. Or he was, he was just like the king of mishitting the baseball for the first like 2 months of the season. In the last couple of weeks, he's started to elevate. He's pulling it really the last week or so. He's really started to pull the ball in the air. And now the results are coming. Obviously, 2 home runs will really skew the numbers, but he had a sac fly in Cleveland that nearly got out. He just missed it. It got to the warning track for a sac fly. He's hit the monster a few times in the last couple of weeks. I've been encouraged with Caleb Durbin. Like I think he's less useless than I thought he was in April. I still think he's probably better served if he just like slid into the IKF role, or maybe they just ride it out with him at third, and we'll see what happens. They have plenty of control on him. So
I'm gonna do a hot take though. I think that Caleb Durbin's gonna for the rest of the season go on like a Trevor Story like tear that from last season after starting absolutely absolute dog water and turning it around right around June. That's the Trevor Story experience. Do you have the ability to pull what Trevor Story's like WRC plus or OPS plus was from June 1st on last year? Because I think it was like 137 or something like that.
Yeah, give me 1 sec. I can pull it up. You said from June 1st?
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, once he got out of May, he basically remembered how to hit. His WRC plus from June 1st onward was 124. He slashed 289, 334, 492 with 18 home runs and 26 doubles. And he drove in 73 runs and was 22 of 23 on stolen bases.
Yeah, I don't see the stolen bases being a thing, but I think that 124 OPS plus, was that OPS plus you said, or runs
WRC plus. I don't
plus?
know how to check the OPS plus for that sample.
I think that's Baseball Reference. That's okay. Yeah, I think Caleb Durbin could do a 124 WRC plus from now to the end of the season. Not saying he's going to pull his season number up there because he started off so poorly, but I think it's entirely realistic for him to do that over the remaining course of the season. I think that he has that possibility, and that's going to be my hot take right now. And I'll probably be proven incredibly wrong, but it'd be nice.
It'll look different. I mean, I can see it. I mean, if the changes he made to his swing stick, I can see it. I mean, like you said, the last week it's like a 139, or last 15 days it's like a 139 WRC plus or OPS plus.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he's got his WRC plus up to 61, so he's in Marcelo talks now, as opposed to pitcher talks, which is nice. If he's pulling the ball in the air more, he's going to find extra bases at Fenway pretty regularly. And I know that was the appeal when they traded for him was, he pulls the ball in the air at a 20% clip. That's going to do numbers at Fenway. And then he just didn't pull the ball in the air, and that was a major issue. And now that he's doing it more, it should be, at least at home, he should be a lot better because he doesn't strike out. He doesn't hit the ball particularly hard, but again, you pull the ball in the air at Fenway, you're going to find some luck as a righty. Obviously, you're going to find some green and get some extra base hits. He won't hit 18 home runs, but
No.
he may get you. He'll probably get them. He'll probably get to about where he was last year from a home run standpoint, 11. Maybe he'll get to like 14, but
yeah, I
probably no
mean, if
more
he's
than
already
that.
got 2, right, and he had 2 yesterday,
Mhm.
then if he was to hit 8 more over the course of the season, would that really surprise you? Probably not. But then you think about, like, take 10 or 8 of those Trevor Story home runs and give those to him as doubles, then I think that you could see a very similar production, from Caleb Durbin at that point.
Yeah, could he hit 30 doubles the rest of the season? I think he could.
I think that's very realistic. That's like that's like 5 a week. No,
5
that's
a
like
month
3 a week.
or
Yeah, 5 a month.
7 a month would be, because it's June, July, August, September. So 4 months, he's got to hit basically a little bit more than 7 a month. I think he can do that.
Yeah, that's like 1.5 a week. That's
Yeah,
pretty easy.
Yeah, what's he at for doubles this year? So he's overall at 13. I think a successful season for Caleb Durbin, if we're just talking purely counting stats, get to double-digit home runs, 40 doubles, and he's at 25 runs batted in, get to 50. And I will renege my hatred of the trade to just, I still dislike it because I wasn't necessarily high on Kyle Harrison, but I liked the trio of players they gave up for Durbin. Plus, they also traded for 3 Caleb Durbins at the same time. But yeah, I think a successful year, get to about 40 doubles, 10 home runs, maybe it's like 2 or 3 triples and 50 ribbies. I can live with it.
So last year he had 25 doubles and 11 home runs and 53 ribbies.
Yeah, so that'd be, yeah, he'll hit more doubles definitely this year.
Oh yeah, he's already over halfway there. And
Yeah.
although, yeah, he's on pace for like 30 doubles, but that's not factoring in his pace over the last week. Because I think 5 of those doubles were in the past week.
Also, I feel like I've looked at Caleb Durbin's like Baseball Reference and Fangraphs a lot. I'm just now realizing he started in the Braves organization.
What?
I could have sworn he started in the Yankees organization.
He did.
Yeah, 2021. He was drafted by the Braves in the 14th round of 2021. How did he get to the Yankees? Who'd they trade for after 2022? Or was he like a minor league Rule 5 guy? I gotta find this out. It's
all right.
This is why I love transactions right now. This is why I love going down these rabbit holes with like Fangraphs, because I've looked at Dwight Evans' Fangraphs page so many times because I'm like still baffled he's not in the Hall of Fame. Then I learned randomly maybe a month ago that the man played one random year for the Baltimore Orioles, which is disgusting. This was a really terrible Baltimore Orioles team, but he played for the Orioles, and that makes me very upset. Oh, it was for Lucas Litke. He got traded for Lucas Litke, then he got traded for Devin Williams, and then Kyle Harrison. So, if the Red Sox trade him, they probably can get a star for him.
It's kind of funny because that trade for Lucas Litke, he's not even listed in the transactions on MLB.com. They have the other two trades, but they just have him being assigned to the Yankees farm system.
Yeah, December 28th, 2022, trade by the Atlanta Braves with Indigo Diaz to the New York Yankees for Lucas Litke, and then traded with Nestor Cortez for Devin Williams, and then traded with Andrew Monasterio and Anthony Siegler, and a comp pick for Shane Drouin, David Hamilton, and Kyle Harrison. So if the Red Sox trade Caleb Durbin this winter, they will end up getting Yordan Alvarez.
Yeah, love that. Wilson Contreras didn't get a hit in this series. I think that was a lot of the issues that we saw coming through. Was the one guy that had been there all season, literally couldn't get on base to save his life. And he struck out 5 times, no hits.
Yeah, he had a rough series, but I mean, he was riding like an 18-game on base streak coming in. He's allowed to have a rough few games. He's done a lot of heavy lifting this year.
Yeah. I think that was like one call out I wanted to make sure that we at least touched on, because it wasn't pretty for him. And then I think the other call out was obviously Jake Bennett back up in the majors. I didn't think that he looked bad in that start, but obviously gave up 4 runs, 7 hits, 4 strikeouts. What do you think about Jake Bennett? You think he's better than Bayo at this point, or just does he have just a more consistent floor?
Well, so I don't know. I mean, I think Jake Bennett's just another guy, I think he's fine. I don't have any problem with him. I just put him in kind of the Richard Fitz bucket of like intriguing enough that I'm cool keeping him around. But I'm not penciling him into any like real future Red Sox rotations.
Right.
He'll just kind of be on the periphery. Maybe he settles into the bullpen. Like, he's fine. As far as like compared to Bayo, I still think Bayo is more talented. I refuse to sell all my stock on Brian Bayo. Something's weird with him this year. I don't know what it is. Because like talk all you want about how lucky he was last year. Like, he wasn't so lucky that he's like really a 9 ERA pitcher,
No, definitely not.
Something's weird with him this year. I don't know if it's all mental. I'm sure some of it's mechanical. Very, very intrigued to see how he responds to being in Worcester. I know that first start's going to be terrible. He's going to be a mess in that first start. It's going to be bad. I'm expecting to see like 4 innings, 7 earned, similar to an MLB Brian Bayo start. But he's, I don't know. I don't think we've seen the last of him, and I know Red Sox fans are going to hate to hear that, but I don't know. I don't think he's that bad.
I don't think he's as bad as he has been, but he definitely could be. You know what I mean? In the sense that if he doesn't figure this out mentally, he's going to continue to be the same. I mean, the fact that he was able to pitch well with an opener shows you that he's not a bad pitcher. He just isn't he's just not there. I'm sure you guys talked about this on Sunday when you recorded, but he's not with it. And when you're not with it and you can't lock in, I mean, that's been his vice the entire time he's been in the majors, is he would melt down and he would have these moments where you just didn't have that maturity. And last year it seemed like he had kind of overcome that. And I know people were giving him excuses, when the Netflix doc came out, you found out about like what was going on with his family and like all that stuff that he was dealing with on the mound. You're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's why you're like going through a lot. That's why you're very emotional. But then last year, he was great. So it's like, okay, or at least good for like the majority of the summer and into the end of August. But when you then have this season come out, it's like, well, like what happened? Where's you're 2 years older, you should be more mature. Your family's visa situation is figured out. Like, I don't know. Like, what's the excuse now? And then, it pissed me off. I didn't get a chance to say anything about it, but just like hearing his comments translated, like after the game when they asked him about it, his last major league start, and he was just like, I'm done with this conversation. I'm a starting pitcher. This is bull crap. Stop asking me about that. Wasn't a good look for him.
No, I do wonder if he's just at this point if he's a change of scenery guy. I'm a believer in his talent. I see so many people talking about how he just stinks. And I know that from a result standpoint, you don't have a leg to stand on if you want to debate that. He's been really bad. But he is going to be the next Red Sox pitcher that they could not figure out that gets traded to some random organization. They're like, hey, maybe that cutter that sucks. Maybe we just won't throw that anymore. I know that you get a ton of whiff on it, but like everything that isn't swung and missed at is launched. Maybe we should just not throw it at all. And we'll go back to sweeper, changeup, sinker that worked last year, and he won't be an all-star. Like he won't have a Kyle Harrison level, ascension, but like will he be Quinn Priester for another team? I could totally see that. I just don't know what team it would be. Maybe like I don't know what team out there is looking for starting pitching. I mean, a lot of teams are, but like, is Bayo a guy that gets dealt this summer? Probably not. They'd probably hope that he can salvage something in the second half. You could sell him in the offseason, but there's a team out there that'll take a chance on him. They will get him for pennies on the dollar.
With the fact that Crochet, his injury is who knows what, we don't really have the pitching depth that we had. I think if Crochet was back and firing, and then you have, Bayo and Bennett cooking in AAA, then you could say, oh, we got some depth there. And then Patrick Sandoval's about to be, back pretty soon, I'd say, probably in a month. Like his rehab assignment's going to be, he had a rehab assignment today or yesterday, and then he has another one coming up, game 1 of the doubleheader, I think on Sunday. And Bayo's pitching game 2. Or was that today? Is Bayo start today?
Let me see.
I know it was game 2 of a doubleheader, but I saw that Perales pitched against the Red Sox today.
Schedule doesn't show any doubleheaders. Oh, wait, I'm looking. Sorry, I'm on the Woo Sox website. They were just showing the next homestand. Yeah.
It was canceled.
The game 2 got canceled for rain. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
So how did Sandoval's rehab start go? Let's see. I think I saw he gave up one hit.
He gave up an earned run. I got his line here. Inning and 2/3, 1 hit, 1 run. So he gave up a home run to Yoendry Morales, who's actually a top prospect for the Nationals, having a tremendous year in AAA. 1 2/3, 1 hit, 1 earned, 1 walk. He had 3 strikeouts, 5 whiffs. So his ERA total this season on rehab is 6.48. We'll see him eventually. Oh, Joe LaSorsa got to pitch today. Good for him.
Jeez, yeah. Yohandy Morales is he's a beast, man. He's got 42 RBIs already. He's got a 1,000 OPS, 15 home runs, and a 339 batting average in AAA.
The Nationals are building something over there. Paul Taboni's got a solid situation. I'm very curious to see how they handle the deadline because they've actually competed this season. And I know that there's been all this talk about trading CJ Abrams, but he's taken a massive step forward as a player. So I'd consider maybe even extending him if I were Taboni instead of trading him outright. I know he can't play shortstop, but you got him, obviously James Wood, Morales in AAA.
Daniel Lyle.
Yeah, Dalen Lyles is a beast. They still got Brady House. I know he's not really doing a whole lot at the big league level, but he's been having a good year in AAA as well. So
they have Dylan Cruz that has not really unlocked it at the big league level at all. They've got Gavin Feen in the minor leagues, and they have another shortstop prospect too that's up there in their rankings. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's typically ranked even higher than Fiend is. So I mean, they've got a lot going on.
Yeah, they've got a decent squad forming over there. It's been nice to see. Like as much as the Red Sox have been frustrating, there have been like some of these smaller to mid-market teams have been really good stories this year. Like the White Sox have been an awesome story this year to follow. The
Yeah.
Nationals have been an awesome story this year to follow. It's good for baseball when those teams are good, which I know like is going to be talked about a ton in the CBA negotiations this offseason. It's like look at how much better baseball is when you've got these mid-market teams that are competing. Now, this is why we need a salary cap.
The Nationals have scored one less run than the Dodgers this year. They are second in all of baseball.
Yeah, they're ridiculous. They drive in runs. They don't pitch necessarily. I mean, they got Miles Michaelis in their rotation still, but they get a couple of arms. They might be dangerous in a couple of years.
They could be one of those teams that's out there looking for pitching. And if you are talking about, a Craig Breslow pipeline of pitching and some connections over there with Paul Taboni, I mean,
well, where are the Nationals right now in the standings? They are. Where are they? They're third in the NL East. They're only 2.5 back of Philly. So they're like on the periphery.
Yeah, I don't have the. Let me pull up the playoff odds again here. So I had that here a second ago. Let's see, National League East. So their playoff odds are currently at 5%.
I mean, I believe
they're
it.
Playing 500 baseball. Dude, they'd be like the second best team in the American League.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, which is, I mean, fine for them. I mean, that's another thing to go back to the Red Sox deadline is like I understand that the whole full scale sell thing, but if they have an opportunity to get a star, like why not go get it? Like I mean, go get a star. It's obviously not an expiring star, but if like a controllable asset that can help you next year is available, like there's nothing wrong with buying that. Like you're the Red Sox, there's a lottery system now for the draft. So like having the worst record obviously helps your odds in the lottery, but you don't have to have the worst record to get the number one pick. If an opportunity, I don't know who is out there. Like they're not going to trade. They're not going to trade Jordan. The Astros aren't going to trade Jordan. I don't know who it would be, but if you can get maybe it's Cattell. Maybe it's Cattell.
Maybe.
I don't know how happy he'd be coming to a team that's worse than his current situation. But if you have an opportunity to get Cattell at a fairly reduced cost,
he'd have to waive his no trade clause, though.
I still think he'd do it. I think he'd do it to come to Boston. Although, are the Red Sox on his no trade list? Because I know it's a partial. I know the Yankees are on it. I don't know if the Red Sox are on it.
He has it now. Oh wait, you're right. I don't know.
I think he has a partial. It's like 8 teams. I just don't remember if the Red Sox are on it.
It's 10, isn't it 10-6? Because he hit 10 years of service time. He gets 6 teams.
Hold on. He's got what is it? Is it 10-5 rights? I think 10 years in the league.
Maybe it's 10-5. Yeah.
He's not at 10 years of service time yet. He's at 9.162. So he's not at 10 years of service time, but he has been on the D-backs. This is his 10th year with the D-backs, though. Like
that was a big talking point this offseason was like if they don't trade him by April something, his no trade clause kicks in. So I don't know what's up with that. But
I'll have to. I wonder if Spot Track has any info on that. Let me see. Let me look at his contract. Cattell Marte. It does not mention it in here. Oh wait, here we go. 5-team no trade list. Earns full no trade protection starting mid-April via 10-5, right? So yeah, he now has a full no trade.
Yeah.
But
ball knower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like Zach Neto would be a dream. Infielder with some power. Yeah, I mean there's a few other guys that I wouldn't mind seeing them targeting either, but I just don't know that they'll pull that trigger. because of the guys that they have already. It's kind of interesting, the Globe article that came out where it was like rival executives saying like they've built a lineup full of, quadruple A gadget players, and they're acting surprised that this is what the offense looks like. It's kind of a crazy hit piece, but I mean, not even wrong.
No, it's 100% correct. Like they've completely neglected offense in the offseason, and they're paying the price for it. They put all their eggs in a small handful of baskets. Year 2 leap for Roman, which obviously we have been deprived of because he's been hurt all year. Jaren Duran returned to 2024 form. Instead, he's actually worse than he was last year. Big leap for Willier. He's been worse than he was last year. And Marcelo having a solid rookie season, and there's still hope for that, but to this point, it hasn't happened. And Caleb Durbin has picked things up lately too. But like they built this team that has like 83 utility guys and 7 catchers, and they're like, I wonder why we're 12 games under 500 and have the second worst run differential in our division.
Yeah.
Despite the pitching. I mean, the pitching's held up, the defense is held up, they just don't score runs, and that's the problem. Like, that's why when we talk about, like, the Heim years, not to make this a Breslow versus Heim thing, but, like, if my team's going to be bad, I want them to score runs. Like, I would much rather lose a bunch of games. I mean, this series, they had a game they lost 7-5, but I would much rather lose 8-6 a bunch of times and be pissed that the pitching isn't good than losing games 3-1, because it's just boring baseball. It's not fun to watch. Like I don't want to go to Fenway, can spend $74 on booze to watch my team lose 2-1.
No,
it's just, and then add $40 more for lobster poutine. Like then I'm sick. Brutal.
Yeah, I think that if you want a fun team, you want a team that's interesting to watch, and it's the worst part about this team is like you will have a good day where your offense finally picks up and then your bullpen gives it up, and they just it seems like if it's not one guy, it's the other guy, and it's you can't have a single good day without something going wrong. But at the end of the day, we've got another couple of weeks before hopefully there's a decision made on direction, and that's what at least Sam Kennedy said today on WEEI. He said we're going to give it another couple weeks and see what happens and make a decision. I think we all know what that decision will have to be at that point, but probably only a couple more pods before we get some movement there. Beginning of July, some action maybe starting to happen, and we'll see.
It sucks being on blowout talk like with this team. Like, how when you're down 11-1 and broadcasters start talking about everything but the games, like that's where we're at right now with this team. Like, this is the worst Red Sox team we've seen, since we've been with Pesky. I mean, honestly, this is arguably the worst team we've seen since, 2020 was brutal, but that was at least only 60 games. This is the worst team we've seen since like 2014.
Yeah.
And that team had Alejandro De Aza. We had the summer of De Aza that year. Who will be this year's Alejandro De Aza? Was it Mickey Gasper? Did we get the spring of Mickey Gasper? Is that our Alejandro?
No, it's gonna be Caleb Durbin. I'm telling you, I already called it.
The summer of Caleb. They need to. Yeah. Well, I feel like it needs to be somebody they bring in mid-season. So it's gonna be like, in 2022 we got the second half of Reese McGuire.
Didn't we have a Pablo Reyes 2022? Was that the year?
That was 23 for Pablo with the walk-off grand slam. Yeah, let's get somebody. Let's get somebody that's like a notorious shitter at the big league level. Can we bring in Jose Devers? I don't even know if he's still in pro ball. Let's bring in Jose Devers. We appease the fans. We got Devers back, and just let him go nuts for like, a month. Like 2012 Pedro Siriaco. Every year that the Sox stink, there's that one dude that has like a 2-month stretch where he is just a freak. Like, I thought 2012 Pedro Siriaco had me telling lies on the hypothetical internet because I was not on social media at the time. So the summer of De Aza was like peak. 2022
Yeah,
brought us Reese McGuire. 2023 brought us Pablo. 2024 brought us Dom Smith. Last year they made the
Dom
playoffs, but
Smith. Yep.
we got a couple months of Abraham Toro when before they took off. So who's that going to be this year? You say it's Caleb Durbin. I think it's going to be somebody they trade for. I just don't know who. It's going to be some. It's probably going to be another dude who can fucking catch.
Yeah, I mean they have 6 guys or 5 guys on the team right now that have catcher out. No, yes, six guys because they've got the 3 catchers they're carrying: Gasper, Wong, and Narvaez. They've got IKF. They've got Wilson Contreras and Siegler. So they got 6 guys. At least, well, no, Siegler got sent back down, didn't he?
Sealer got optioned, but also worth mentioning, Romy Gonzalez was the emergency catcher. So technically, when he comes back,
when he
there'd be
comes
7.
back, sure.
There'd be 7 if they also have Siegler on the roster, which they might by that point because Romy will probably not be back till like July. I also wonder if they would be open to trading Romy. I don't think they'd get a whole lot for him coming off surgery, but if he can come back in like the next 2 or 3 weeks and he goes nuclear for three weeks in July, and they're like, oh, his shoulder's fine. Like that's a good player. That's another guy you could get some stuff for. I probably
Trade him
wouldn't
back
trade
to the White
Romy.
Sox.
Yeah, you could trade him back to the White Sox and torture him a little bit. That's what he gets for shaving his mustache.
Yeah, everything went wrong for Romy since he shaved his mustache. Let's be honest.
Agreed. He started hitting righties and then tore his labrum. Like,
yeah, disaster.
Know your role. Stay in your lane, Romy Gonzalez.
Do you want to try to run a quick 162-0 before we end this disaster?
Sure, but I do have one question for you because we've talked about the catcher situation. What do you make? I haven't gotten your take on it. What is your take on the whole Narvaez thing? With like
the playing time stuff?
The playing time thing, the being open about his frustration with the fact he doesn't have like as much of a role. I've seen some people talk about how like it doesn't like he almost isn't worthy of an explanation because he's not playing well. Like where do you fall on that as far as like not necessarily make a side like take a side, but
it's just interesting to see where he was last year from a leadership role, like within this team, and we were joking, we called him like the captain, stuff like that. But he seemed that he would take ownership with the pitching staff, that he would kind of gather the fellas, and kind of rally them. And there was a lot of talk about, when he would go up to someone like a Greg Weissert and, just like tell him off on the mound when he needed him to. And I know he was like Crochet's guy last year, and obviously Wong was so bad that you couldn't just play Wong. You had to play Narvaez, and Narvaez was really filling in that role. And it's interesting because he hasn't been good. He's kind of been what you expected him to be when he first came up from a hitting side of things. Defensively, he's been just fine, but he's just not playing enough, in my opinion. I think that you need offense so badly that I understand why he's sitting, because Gasper looks good at the plate. Not amazing, again, just good. But Narvaez has been looking bad at the plate. And I also thought it was funny. This is kind of a side note, but he also went to that like Gradium hitting complex that Caleb Durbin went to, saw success for like 2 games, and they started like bragging about how he was there. And then he's been absolutely horrible since then. But then Caleb Durbin goes there and, starts to have success as well. And has been a little bit more sustained. But I don't know. I mean, I feel bad for him because you go from being the starting catcher on a playoff team to a team that's 12 games under 500, your second year in the big leagues, and you're not even the starter anymore. And I wonder if part of him's like, if I was playing more often, we wouldn't be in this position. I do wonder if there's part of that where he feels like he's letting the team down because the opportunities that he is getting, he's not capitalizing on them, which is then leading to him not getting more opportunities, which means he's not able to help the team. So I kind of feel for him there. But I don't really know what the solution is because you can't just stop riding the hot hand,
Yeah, it's tough because it's like none of them are the hot hand right now. Because Mickey stats posted that Mickey Gasper's got like a 570 OPS since he started 7 for 17, after getting called up. And then like Wong, like right now, if we're talking hot hand, the hottest catcher is Connor Wong. Like
Right.
he's been the best hitter in the recent stretch of games, but like unless you're really showcasing him for the trade market, there's no reason to make Connor Wong the primary catcher. I just think where I get upset on behalf of Carlos Narvaez has nothing to do with the fact he's not playing as frequently. I've maintained that I think he's the best backup catcher in baseball that had been forced to be the starter last year. He deserves it. He deserves to be, explained to why his role is diminished, especially when he gets his chain snatched by a guy who isn't even a catcher. Like Mickey Gasper can catch. He's not a good one. He can't throw. He's not. It's not like he's not great at framing. His challenging was really rough, at least to start. And he's not
But he
hitting.
does have the mustache, though.
But he does
He
have
does
the
have a
mustache.
mustache.
He does have the mustache, so he gets some brownie points for me, especially. Looks like Mario. I need him to be on either the Mariners or the Brewers for like a brief period, just so we can get a headshot of him with the M hat, just once. It could just be for a day. If we want to have like a deep cut, like Lewin Diaz winter for Mickey Gasper, where he's on like 5 different teams, just gets passed around like terrible weed, gets DFA'd
Wasn't
a bunch
he
of
already
times.
on Minnesota?
He was, but they don't. Oh, that's a great. Hold on. I gotta see. I gotta see if there is a picture of him with an M hat. Just him smiling, because then he'll really look like Mario. Mickey Gasper twins. It's not
Yeah.
him smiling. We
So
gotta.
we gotta like tweak the photos a little bit then.
Yeah, I missed my opportunity. His headshots with the old twins hat with the T and the C. Unfortunately,
Not the City Connects. Okay.
tragic. But there is one picture of him, which I'm not going to turn my monitor. Oh, there's him kind of. Hold on. I'm going to move my webcam. We're going to do some really weird shit here. Remove my webcam so you can see this.
Yep. There it is.
There it is.
It's a him.
It's
Mickey-O.
It's Mickey-O. I'm very glad Tim Healy, friend of the program, brought that up because I'm like, I feel like I'm going insane. Every time I see him, I do the "It's a me." He also needs to change his walk-up song. Like, there's no reason for it to not be the Mario theme song. He needs to lean into that.
That's a good point.
But
What is
Narvaez
his walk-up
deserves an
song?
explanation, is my like real thought of it. Like, I understand he's not playing well. He understands he's not playing well. But none of them are. The whole team isn't. And think of it like, try to put yourself in his shoes. If you're at your job and suddenly your boss cuts your hours without
Yeah.
telling you, are you going to feel secure in your job? Are you going to like enjoy going to work every single day? No, being like, oh, well, maybe next week I'll be on for 40 instead of 32. Maybe next week I'll be on for 30 instead of 16 hours this week. Like try to put yourself in his position. Like, I understand like he's not playing well, but you can't just go from the starter to like maybe like some weeks you're the third catcher, some weeks you're the backup, some weeks you're the starter. Like,
Well,
you
even
need
to
to
add
have a
on that,
conversation with him.
it's like if not only were you getting 40 hours, but also you're like you were the guy that like the boss was like, hey, when I'm gone on vacation, I need you to be me. I need you to like fill in for me on vacation, And it's like, okay, no problem. Like, I've got it. And you've shown that you have that extra leadership ability, and then your hours could cut all of a sudden with no explanation.
Yeah, it's just it's a tough situation. The Red Sox are the kings of creating an awkward environment for their players to play in, and then they wonder why they're not playing well or don't even want to be there to begin with. And it's tough. And like, I would honestly throw Narvaez in the mix of guys that I would be open to trading this summer as well, if you could get something for him, because he's still a young catcher with a ton of team control. Obviously, one of the best defenders at his position in the league, but you gotta resolve that. And I hope that Chad Tracy has at least sat down with Narvaez since the story came out from Jed McCaffrey.
I do just want to comment and say that last year they said he was one of the 3 untouchable players. It was Crochet, Roman, and Narvaez.
A crazy statement at the time, but like, He went from untouchable to Mickey Gasper is the starter,
Yeah.
in less than a year. And I don't think that's fair to him. I get that it's a results business, but so is every job, and you would want your boss to tell you why your hours got cut. That's all I'm saying.
100%. So what have you done for me lately type of thing?
Yeah. I have no problem with him not playing frequently. It's just he shouldn't feel empowered to then go and complain about it to the media, You should have a conversation with him. That way he's a real problem child if he goes and complains to the media. Now you're turning the fan base against him because he's openly frustrated about playing time, and then you got fans being like he sucks, so he shouldn't be playing, and suddenly like not validating the fact that again his boss cut his hours without telling him why. It's just not fair to him.
Well, we didn't even get into the fact that like the Sam Kennedy, walking back his mess up of like the injury news recently, and then we had the whole like Garrett Crochet injury communication fiasco this week where like Crochet was asked directly by Pete Abe, how's your injury doing? And Crochet's like, it's gotten way worse. Like, I don't know when I'm going to be able to throw again. And like, then Chad Tracy's asked about it later that night, and he's like, no, there's no injury update. Like everything's progressing fine. And then Breslow was asked about it. He doubled down, backed up Chad Tracy, and was like, yeah, Tracy, what he said was the right update, that everything's progressing and like everything's fine. The team is a mess. The communication sucks on all levels. And I know that we joked about Breslow needing a translator for English a few weeks ago. And at this point, I'm not even sure that was unwarranted. It definitely seems like, the communication is so bad. You do need someone to kind of step in and just talk to the guys like a person.
Yeah, I keep bringing it up. Aram Layton at Just Baseball, shout out Aram, said he thinks that this would be the first time in like the history of the world that you needed a same language interpreter. It's like a Key and Peele skit, where it's like the diplomatic speech, and then it's like the rah guy in the background being like, "No, we're gonna go in there, we're going to fuck shit up," Like it's basically what it is with Breslow, because everything that he says just falls on deaf ears, which is another reason why they should fire him. But well, that's a discussion for a later episode because they're not going to do it anytime soon.
Yeah, they already said that this week. Confirmed, not firing Breslow. At least that's what they're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not taking anything they say, at face value. They were talking all 2012 that they weren't going to fire Bobby V, and then they did like 4 seconds after game 162. So until Breslow is, I mean, maybe they won't fire him before the end of the season or before 2027 because of the lockout. So that might honestly save his job. But I'm not gonna be like, oh, Sam Kennedy said Breslow's not getting fired, so therefore he's not getting fired. It's just not.
Yeah, I mean, he also said Roman's injury was not as bad as he thought, and then it was. So,
yeah. Red Sox got swept, by the way.
Red Sox got swept. We're on to a 3-game series against who knows who. Probably another team that's going to sweep us.
It is we should preview that. It's the Rangers, by the way.
Texas Rangers. Yeehaw.
But yeah, we can preview it after we do some fun things like drafting guys from the 2000s.
Yeah, we're going to do a quick little 162-0 in case you guys don't know what this game is. And if you're even tuning in this far, it's basically like randomly generates a year and a team, and you have to pick one player from that group to fill out your roster. And it does it a bunch of times. You have to fill out the entire roster as well as like some pitching as well. And then it simulates how well you did based on all of the players from that particular decade. And it gives you a record. And so the goal is to try to like have made the best selection in each round and have your team go 162-0. My record's like 145 wins and World Series champion. I think Jordan, you said 150 something was your record.
Yeah, I got a 155-7 last night. I did 90s and up, 90s to 2010s.
Yeah, so we're going to make it a little bit more specific here. Just going to draft one together. We're going to hide the stats. There's a way to do it with the stats showing, which is obviously you can just scroll through and find the best stats, but we're going to do it ball knowers only, hide the stats, just go by names and vibes. And we're going to keep it simple, keep it to the 2000s, the decade of the 2000s, and get one of these in here. So I'm going to spin, and we're getting the Athletics. Starting off early 2000s Athletics.
Yeah, so there's a few.
Should we make this fun? Should we try to do only Red Sox, former Red Sox?
But if we're trying to get 162 now, that might not be a great idea. So we could do Damon, but Damon wasn't a good.
I was thinking like Bobby Kelty.
Bobby Kelty. Oh, are we going? Oh, let's go for O and 162 to be on theme with this current Red Sox team. So we can do all Red Sox if the team allows it. I'd be down to draft Bobby Kelty. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do the inverse of 162-0 for the first little draft here.
All right, we'll do him in left field.
All right, sweet. So we're going for the worst. We're going for the WOT team here.
Yeah, exactly.
2000s Arizona Diamondbacks.
We should draft Chad Tracy. just for the LOLs.
Just for the name, even though it's not the same guy. We could draft Chris Young, Red Sox legend.
All right, we could.
Got any others?
Justin Upton. Let's see.
Shea Hillenbrand was an all-star in 2002 with the Red Sox. Tony Clark was a former Red Sox.
He's good, though. Micah Owings, was he on the Red Sox?
He was not. We can draft, because every team's got to have an ace. We could draft the worst person Kurt Schilling, just to have like one good player, but just... Byung-Hyun Kim. No, that's our guy. Byung-Hyun Kim. He was terrible with the Red Sox. I don't know. And he almost blew the 2001 World Series. 79 overall.
Sadly, not a terrible pick with this roster build. Angels 2000s. All right, John Lackey.
Yeah, John Lackey.
No, Saltalamacchia.
I think Darren Oliver used to pitch for the Red Sox too. Paul Bird. Paul Bird was a former Red Sox. I watched his first Red Sox start. It was really bad because he was not good. I don't know why Theo Epstein traded for him.
Bartolo Colon. Did he ever pitch for the Red Sox? He must have.
He did. 8 games.
All right, let's do him.
Big Bart. Cy Young winner in the 2000s, though. That's the one thing.
That was a terrible pick, so that's good.
Sweet.
All right, New York Yankees. Nope, sorry. Atlanta Braves.
Atlanta Braves 2000s. Adam LaRoche played for the Red Sox for like a week. Edgar Renteria is one of the worst Red Sox I've ever experienced, but he was an all-star for Atlanta, so that would be a bad pick. Javi Lopez, also a terrible Red Sox, but was good for Atlanta.
Let's see. Look at the pitchers real quick here. Tom Glavine. Let's see.
Smoltz is a Red Sox.
Oh,
John Burkett was a Red Sox.
Derek Lowe. Let's do Derek Lowe.
Okay. Derek Lowe was a pretty good Brave, but the Braves in the 2000s were pretty good anyway. So we're not really going to be getting great.
That was an awful pick. 34.
Oh, sweet. He was worse than I thought he was with Atlanta.
All right, we got Los Angeles Dodgers.
Alex Cora.
We got to.
We have to pick Alex Cora. Should we have him be our DH?
We'll have him be our second baseman.
All right, fair enough. Okay.
There's got to
Alex
be worse
Cora.
shortstops out there, is what I'm thinking.
Alex
right.
Gonzalez. Oh, that's not the Alex Gonzalez that the Red Sox had.
So Eric Young. Oh yeah, this is Chicago Cubs. For anyone still listening to this, I doubt anyone
Mark
is.
Bellhorn.
Oh yeah. Let's see who else we got. I'm thinking Bellhorn at first base.
I don't remember Mark Bellhorn ever playing first base. Todd Walker was a Red Sox, but he was a good Red Sox. I don't know how he was with the Cubs.
Ryan Dempster.
Dempster. I think the 2010s were the kinder part of his career. Is that reliever? I can't see. It's a little blurry.
It is reliever, yeah.
I don't know how he was as a reliever. I'm thinking Bellhorn's probably the play here.
Yeah, I'm going Bellhorn at first base. All right. Next up, we got Kansas City.
I think Damon pops up on here, but I'm not 100%
Carlos Fablas.
certain. Does he count? Dave McCarty, RIP.
Wait, wasn't Dave Bush on the Royals? I gotta look.
I don't know if he was in the 2000s, but I think I saw him. Chad Durbin was a Red Sox minor leaguer at one point. The amount of times I've accidentally clicked on his name instead of Caleb. Oh, there's Paul Bird again.
Let's do Paul Bird.
Yeah, it's a sign.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
What
fine.
was it?
59, I think.
Okay. Sign. We keep getting Paul Bird teams. We gotta take them.
All right, Milwaukee Brewers.
Bill Hall.
We got Bill Hall. Let's see.
So we got Bill Hall was a Red Sox. Mark Loretta was an All-Star in 2006 for the Red Sox. Mike Cameron, but he was too good as a Brewer. Scotty Pods, also a Red Sox, 2012, was traded for Craig Breslow. The Red Sox had him, traded him to Arizona for Breslow, and then the D-backs released him, and the Red Sox signed him again.
I think he could be a good right fielder.
I like Scott Podsednik. World Series hero Scott Podsednik.
All right. He's going to be our right fielder. So we got Bobby Kelty, we got Scott Podsednik. Now we're going back to the Minnesota Twins here. AJ Przinsky, we could do.
Ooh, AJ.
There's no way he was a good Twin. And we need a catcher. Oh, we could do David Ortiz with the Twins.
We could do Big Papi. I feel like we got to do Big Papi. It wouldn't be a Red Sox theme team. I know that we're going for the worst.
That was pretty bad, though.
Yeah,
that's gonna be pretty bad.
Yeah, because he only had one good year for Minnesota, really. 2000.
San Francisco. Let's see.
So we're gonna have. Let's see.
Pablo Sandoval.
Fucking Pablo at catcher. If we take Pablo, we're gonna have to put him at catcher. I hope you know that.
He was too good though.
I know, but I'm just saying if we're stuck with Pablo, it's gotta be him as a catcher, just for the laughs. Let's see who else we got here. I think he's the only former Red Sox.
That's honestly surprising.
Yeah, he's the only former Red Sox, at least the only former Red Sox that I recognize.
Man, that's tough pickings.
Yeah, I think it's gonna have to be Pablo at catcher.
Ooh. All right.
At least we're putting him in in like the funniest position.
Chicago, Arizona. Back to Arizona again. All right, we can do.
Chris Young is an option. Steven Drew is still available for short. And then
who do you think was worse, Chris Young?
It's tough because Chris Young had 1 year where he popped like 40 bombs. Shea Hillenbrand is also an option. I don't know how he did as a D-back, but he was a Red Sox. If we don't feel comfortable,
Sean Green was a Red Sox too, right?
No, you're thinking Nick Green.
Oh yeah.
I would say I would probably opt for between the two, Chris Young, and I would probably pick Chris Young, but I
Yeah.
also think he might be too good. So I would either pick Chris Young or Shea Hillenbrand.
Let's go with the center fielder.
Yeah, we'll keep our left side of the infield open for some real doozies. Hoping for like, I don't know, maybe we get Edgar Renteria again or something.
New York Mets.
None of those guys.
Not a lot of position player options there. Pitchers.
Are we running? Is this our first team that we can't pick a Red Sox? That's so sad.
Oh no, we got Pedro.
Oh, Pedro. We may have to pick Pedro. He'll
Yeah,
be like a
Pedro on the
99
Mets.
still.
No, 63.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Nice. Before we pick our last player, we're gonna have to predict what our record's gonna be. I think this is a sign that we got to take Renteria.
Yeah, I agree.
Just got to secure because then what if we get the Marlins? Then we're gonna have to take Hanley, and he's too good for that decade.
Yeah. New York Yankees 2000s. Oof.
I am
Alex Rodriguez, right? Because he almost got traded to the Red Sox.
Yeah, give me A-Rod.
Let's see.
Pitchers. David Wells.
David Wells. Let's see who else. We need a reliever if they have an option there.
And there's obviously Roger
Clemens.
Was Paul Quantrill there?
I didn't see him.
No, because he was a Red Sox.
Wasn't Jeff Weaver a Red Sox?
Oh, let me check. We won't look at his stats, but I will check that. Jeff Weaver. Hold on, let me get rid of minor leagues. He was not a Red Sox.
Well, I guess we'll have to go with one of the pitchers. So which one do we think was worse with the Yankees? Clemens or Pedro? Or not Pedro. Clemens
David
or
Wells.
Wells. I'd say
David
Wells
was definitely.
Yeah. Or Ching-Ming Wang. No, he was never a Red Sox. All right, now we're out of starting pitchers. We need a third base and two relievers.
Two relievers. I hope that we can at least keep this on. We can keep honoring this and have all Red Sox.
Oh, bro, we got Miami Marlins.
Kevin Millar, third base. We have Kevin Millar as an option.
Okay, all right. Let's see who the relievers are.
And they were willing to let him go to Japan.
Oh, we got Mike Lowell too.
Yeah, too good. I think he had an all-star season in the early 2000s. Yeah, our only option here. I think Millar's the play.
Good call. Andy Fox too.
We've deconstructed the 2004 Red Sox. Because we got Poppy, we've got Bellhorn, we've got Kevin Millar.
All right, we got Seattle in the 2000s for reliever. I think there's one in here.
John Halama, 2005 Red Sox. So we've secured a Red Sox at the very least. I think.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah,
awful.
I think one other guy on there was a Red Sox, but I don't think he was worse than Halama. 2000s Astros.
Oh, dude.
Well, we could take Billy Wagner if we have to, because he did pitch for the Sox. Obviously, he'll be like a 99 or a 94 or something. Wait, Octavio Dotel, I think, was a Red Sox, but let me check that. He pitched for like 4,000 teams. Dan Wheeler. Nope, Dan Wheeler's the play. 2010 Red Sox.
All right. So before we do this, we've got Bobby Kelty, Chris Young, Scott Posednik, Kevin Millar, Edgar Renteria, Alex Cora, Mark Bellhorn, David Ortiz, Pablo Sandoval. Starting rotation, I can't see.
It's Bartolo Colon, Derek Lowe. We got Mets Pedro. I don't remember the last two. It's been a minute, but we'll be able to review it after.
David Wells.
Boomer Wells, right?
All right, here we go.
Wait. Yeah, we got to predict the win-loss. I'm going So my worst was 62 and 100. I think this team's worse. I'm going 56 and 106.
I think they're gonna sneakily gonna win 69 games.
Nice.
Here we go. Let's see.
The big reveal.
Oh my
94
gosh.
wins. Give me a break. This team stinks, bro. How
We
does
got a
this team-
94 win team, bro. Because
Yeah, and the
of
Red Sox are
freaking
making the playoffs this year because of
it's
Byung-Hyun
because of
Kim.
freaking Byung-Hyun Kim and Dan Wheeler
How do we end up with
and
four
Kevin Millar.
guys? 4 guys over a 70 overall, but we win 94 games. This makes
Kevin
no
Millar
sense.
and Pablo, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. It said our bullpen's so strong.
Yeah, we lead after 6. It's over. It's just as
Wow.
long as we don't go to John Halama.
That's crazy.
That is
Wild
an
card.
abomination of a team. No shot that group wins 94 games. Maybe all of them at their peak.
That's crazy. Can't even. All right, we got to wrap this up.
All right, let's quickly preview the Rangers series. I got the matchups.
All right.
Game 1, we've got 7:10 first pitch at Fenway Park. Jack Leiter on the mound, 4.69 his ERA, going up against Sonny Gray, who's got a 3.20 ERA. Game 2, Saturday, 4:10 first pitch. Jacob deGrom on the mound, 3.18 is his ERA. Ranger Suarez, also a 3.18 ERA, is the pitcher for the Red Sox. Then game 3, Sunday Night Baseball, where the Red Sox belong in 2026. Standalone game. Nate Eovaldi on the mound for the Rangers. 4.26 is his ERA, going up against Connolly Early with a 3.30 ERA.
So there's a couple things at play here. The Red Sox stink at home. They have to play a game in the yellow jerseys. But the Rangers stink. So I'm going to say they're going to win 1 out of 3. If I had to guess, they're winning the Jack Leiter start.
Yeah, they can't lose 5 in a row. I think they take 2 of 3. I think they win the opener, and I think they end up winning Sunday Night Baseball. It's going to be a disgusting display of baseball on Sunday. I think they walk it off, though. I think Sunday's a walk-off.
If they're going to walk it off, it'll be Friday with the Greens.
With the Greens. I think they win. I think they win game 1 rather handily. DeGrom will probably strike out 14 on Saturday. They'll lose like 3-2. And then on Sunday, I think they win like 7-6 in 11 innings. It's going to be like errors galore. And let's see, who hits the walk-off? So you're thinking if they walk it off, it'll be Friday. But I think there's a chance that they walk off Sunday. Who do you think hits the walk-off? Are you just going to ride Caleb Durbin? Pause. Are you just going to ride with Caleb Durbin here?
They're all righties that they're facing for pitchers. So I would say there's not really any lefties that are going to be left on the bench. They'll all be in the starting lineup. So I would normally say like Masataka Yoshida is going to have the walk-off hit, but I think it'll be Andrew Monasterio.
Oh my God. That is, if that happens, that would be insane. I think the walk-off will come from none other than, drum roll, Mickey Gasper.
Okay. All right. The problem is I just think that he's going to be starting those games, and then he'll be replaced after 2 at-bats by either Wong or Narvaez, and he won't be in the game anymore.
I think he pinch hits. I think they have him pinch hit.
So he comes out of the game, then comes back in as a pinch hitter. I like it.
Yeah. Well, no. Golden at bat, man. Golden at bat. We're
banana ball.
Yeah, we're soft launching the golden at bat rule. Mickey Gasper is going to get brought in to pinch hit. And yeah, like I said, it's going to be the 11th inning. So he's going to hit a walk-off. It's going to be the worst. You know what? It's not even going to be a walk-off hit. He's going to walk. It's going to be a walk-off walk.
Walk-off walk.
So it won't even be a fun walk-off. So I'll get to recap that game with Jack and Brian at 11 p.m. because it's going 11 innings. And we'll get to talk about Mickey Gasper, his just beautiful peepers, walking us off into a series win.
I see it. I see the vision. All right. Well, with that, we appreciate you guys tuning in. If you stuck around for the full hour 40 here after a 4-game losing streak, Red Sox getting swept by division rivals. If you if you had the chance to listen all the way through, you should probably go follow us on the social media platforms if you haven't already. The Twitter at The Pesky Report, Instagram at The Pesky Report, YouTube at The Pesky Report. Wow, didn't see that one coming. I know.
Just wait till they find out the Twitch name.
The Twitch name is drumroll,
Pesky
please.
Report.
The Pesky Report. Yes. Yeah, we appreciate it. We're fast growing on all those platforms. In fact, on Instagram especially, we just passed the Bastards of Boston as far as follower count, and can't be too sad about that. We're definitely happy about that for sure.
Nature's healing.
Next up, Red Seat Radio. We're coming for you. Taking down other Red Sox podcasts. Corbin, watch your back.
Love you, Corbin.
Yeah, great guy. Sucks at fantasy this year though. Not doing great.
Same though.
Yeah. Yeah, but on behalf of TJ Stats, Beyond the Monster, and the Pesky Report, we appreciate you tuning in. And until next time, go Sox.
Like, this is called the Pesky Report. Like,